Hello and welcome to the Dream Team Professor podcast. My name is Scott, and in this episode, I'm going to be doing a quick recap of game week 4 so far on Sun Dream Team, looking at top point scorers and key talking points, as it's a really big double game week this week. We've had Premier League, we've had some Champions League and Carabao Cup action so far, and we've still got more Carabao and Arsenal and City in the Champions League to come. So I thought it'd be easier to sort of split this game week in two. We'll have a look at some of the top point scorers, and then later in the week, I'll do my top players to target and team selection video. So if you find it enjoyable, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, but let's get straight into it. So Arsenal 1, Spurs 0 in North London derby. You had Ødegaard out with that ankle injury and Declan Rice suspended. Havertz, I thought, might drop into midfield, but ended up playing the 9 anyway. Trossard was in midfield, but at times they sort of rotated or even made like a 4-4-2. But 5 points for Havertz, 2 shots on target and tackles. Really impressive game from Havertz, but it doesn't always quite reflect on him getting really, really good Dream Team points. 3 clean sheets in 4 games now for Arsenal, keeping up their record as a really solid defence. Raya got 9 points, and he's someone that I thought with this period of Spurs, Atalanta, Man City, could be a chance to pick him up cheaper, but it just seems like he's going to keep on rising. And one thing with Raya is a lot of the time the criticism that is he doesn't really get save points, but he now has 14 saves in 4 games, which is the 5th most at the time of writing this. 5 saves in this game against Spurs. Timber, 7 points. Started 3 games in a row now. So Zinchenko started that first Premier League match, but now again has another injury. So Timber at 3.7 could be a really good route into the Arsenal defence. It's just a little bit of a tricky week next week with Man City and Bolton in the Cup, which I don't think he'll play. But if you did want to get an Arsenal defender in there early for a cheap price, he looks like the way to go. Gabriel, 16 points. Got a goal in this North London derby from a corner. 5 bonus points this season. It did make him the highest scoring defender in the game after the Premier League round, but obviously we've had some extra matches since then. Saka, 8 points. I think it was a quieter game for him, but still got an assist, and that's an attacking return in every single match he's played in this season. 1 goal, 4 assists for the season, bonus points as well. And then I'm going to highlight Pedro Porro. So Wilder didn't keep the clean sheet, still come away with 7 points, 3 bonus, 4 tackles. And that's what I like about Porro in this game. He just still comes away with points even without the clean sheet. And Spurs don't really keep clean sheets that often. So a really good quality to have from a Dream Team player. Maddison, 6 points. He was actually just 1 ppm off getting the maximum bonus, which if you watched the game, you wouldn't really think it was a game where he would have scored a ton of points in, but 6 points in that match, still pretty impressive from him. That's why we like him for the bonus points. Solanke, I feel like he had a better game than the points reflect. He had a really good header chance that sort of had Raya stumbling back, but it was narrowly wide. And I thought he did look dangerous in this game, but 3 points doesn't reflect it. But I'm going to highlight him because he might have potential maybe for this upcoming double game week next week. Villa 3, Everton 2. Ollie Watkins back in the mix after missing international break and getting better minutes as well. So he was only getting 60 minutes a game before this. But he came back, played 84 minutes, had 4 shots on target, scored twice. A really good return from him, and straight away was on everyone's radar. We'll come on to Aston Villa's Champions League match in a minute. Everton were 2-0 up again and then lost it again, like in that Bournemouth match. Dwight McNeil, again, 15 points, a goal and an assist, 9.2 average, 2 goals, 2 assists for the season. He's absolutely smashing it. Had a quieter game in this Carabao Cup match last night, but again, doing really, really well for his price points. At the time of writing this, had the 4th most bonus points after the Premier League matches. Just his free kick and corner delivery, really, really effective. Calvert-Lewin, 9 points. He's had back-to-back goals, 2 goals, 1 assist for the season. I feel like this is one of those seasons where final year of his contract might be playing out of his skin to try and get that sort of last big move. Did miss a huge one-on-one chance. I think he might have even hit the woodwork on one occasion. But again, impressive from Calvert-Lewin. I didn't expect him to play in the Carabao Cup, but there was a few people missing yesterday through illness, and I think that might explain why Mikalenko also went off in the 26th minute. Digne, 8 points for Villa at the back. Got an assist for one of the Watkins goals from a cross. 2 big chances created, tackle points, and a bonus point. You had Duran came on and scored an absolute screamer. I feel like he must have been watching these Barclays men goals through previous years where everyone was saying football was so much better. He's hit an absolute worldie in this one and beat Pickford. He's had 3 goals this season and not even started a game yet. Tielemans, 5 points, was steady, 4 tackles, 1 big chance created. Someone that I liked as one of my options for this week. And again, we'll come on to that Champions League match because he's absolutely smashed it. Onana, at this point, owners would have been disappointed. Off at half time, gave away a goal, but had something up his sleeve again in the Champions League. He had Bogard started, got 5 tackles, a big chance created. Nedeljkovic, no minutes. That's a write-off. We thought he might get some sub appearances this week, but not happening. But both teams, Everton and Villa, starting a decent fixture run. Man City versus Brentford. So Walker was back starting, but Rico Lewis still started the match, which I brought in Lewis this week. I was pretty happy to see until I saw that my other player, Vardiol, had dropped to the bench. It looked more like a traditional back 4 than what we've seen from Man City previously, where Rico Lewis joins in the midfield and it's 3 centre-backs. So we'll see what they do this evening in the Champions League, but I guess they'll mix it up again. I had heard someone say that when City play Brentford or have played Brentford recently, they do mix up the tactics quite a bit to sort of match what Brentford do, but really didn't work in that first half. Stones came in, Diaz dropped out, Savinho came in, Doku dropped out, and Gundogan came in, and Bernardo Silva dropped out. So ton of changes for City. Visser scored 8 points, wiped out that City clean sheet in about 8 in 1 minute. But then went off injured in the 46th after getting clattered by Kovacic. So that was quite a shame. Probably not so much for Dream Team, but he looked like quite a good FPL asset, actually, Visser. Out for a few months now as well. Haaland, no surprise. First half brace, 18 points, 4 shots on target in this game. My captain for the week. The second one was interesting. Route 1, all the way from Edison. So Edison got an assist, and now he's averaging 19 points a game, 9 goals in 4 matches. We'll see if he can add to his tally again tonight in the Champions League. Like I said, Edison got that assist. He also made 5 saves, which, again, Raya and Edison, usually pretty quiet keepers, but both making a ton of saves this week. 8 points for Edison. Savinho, you just can't quite nail him down at the minute. So 5 corners taken in this match, which is pretty interesting. Only 3 points though. But I feel like he's going to rack up bonus points this season. If he can get a run of games together, he's had a couple of injury problems at the moment. But I do think if he keeps on taking these set pieces from one side, KDB was taking the corners from the other side. But I still think if he carries on taking set pieces, he should get a decent amount of either bonus points or assists this season. But just the 3 points in this one. KDB, I mentioned, took 6 corners. Just the 2 points in this game, though, would have been disappointing. But he's still got a game to go. And then Vardiol subbed on at half time for Rico Lewis, which I think if you, like me, if you had Vardiol and Rico Lewis, this is like worst scenario, really. So Rico Lewis came away with 2 points, subbed at half time, and then Vardiol come on at half time, 2 points for him as well. Rodri did make his first appearance of the season, I think, so came on at half time for Kovacic. But Phil Foden on the bench again and still not involved. And there were some comments from Pep this week that he sees Foden playing in these central positions, but there's a lot of competition and he needs to prove that he warrants his place playing. So a little bit of a kick up the arse for Phil Foden, I think that could be. Southampton, Man United, so 3-0 to Manchester United. De Ligt got a whole 17 points, obviously keeping the clean sheet as well, grabbing the goal, and it was double figures across the whole back line for Manchester United, apart from Mazraoui, who got 9 points, but near enough. 3 bonus points for Martinez. And there's some cheaper options. They got a drop last week. And if you want to target them for next week, where they have that European double game week, it's looking pretty good. Dallo got an assist, and we see he's often got an attack and return in him. He was actually the only defender that went on to play the Carabao Cup match as well, which we'll come on to in a bit. But he looks like a decent option. 11 points for him. Bruno Fernandes got an assist, 8 points, bonus, 4 tackles. I've put him down as one to watch for the next week double. Wasn't expecting him to play in the Carabao Cup match, but did end up with a pretty impressive appearance yesterday. Amad Diallo, 9 points, got an assist, 1 goal, 1 assist for the season. Again, taking corners. Surprised that he's still holding on to what I would say is that Garnacho spot. But Garnacho subbed on, got a goal, 8 points, and he's on 1 goal, 1 assist for the season. Well, was on 1 goal, 1 assist for the season until last night. So we'll come on to that in a sec. Ericsson came in for Casemiro, but Ugarte was on the bench, came off to make his debut, and then got a start in midweek. Mainu, 5 points, 1 bonus, 4 tackles, and a big chance created. He's had bonus in all but 1 game so far this season, and tackles in all of them. So if you like those dirty points, not really getting goals, not really getting assists, but the nitty gritty points of bonus and tackles, Mainu seems to be pretty good for those. Forest 1, Liverpool 0. So the Liverpool clean sheet run came to an end. Trent got 4 points, 4 tackles, no bonus. Still only 1 bonus point for the season. And then Bradley came on for Trent, who moved higher up in the game, but still no sort of attack and returns in this one. Robertson came off for Tsimikas. Didn't seem as involved as he usually is. Gravenberch, I'm going to talk about him on the second slide where we talk Champions League. But he got 6 points in this one, and he'd hit 3 bonus points consecutively with tackles in every game. I'll mention it again. He impressed in the Champions League, so played both, and he got 3 bonus points again. So you're looking for like a cheap option around that sort of 3 million price point. He seems to be playing sort of every game at the moment. So Gravenberch could be one to look out for. Again, like I said with Mainu, maybe not going to get those attack and returns, but bonus tackles seem to be happening like every game at the moment. Luis Diaz, someone that's disappointed this game week. So just the 3 points in this match against Forest was, I think, the most transferred in player. Obviously, got that 0.3 price rise that I guess blinds us a little bit. Tackle points, but subbed off in the 61st, which I wrote these notes before European football, and I wrote subbed in the 61st, maybe a good sign for Europe. But he did not go on to start that match in Europe, which is a bit annoying. Did hit the post in the game, which was promising, but it's been a pretty bad week for Diaz in terms of Dream Team points. Salah was kept quiet, 2 shots on target, just to 4 points. And then it came the Hudson-Odoi goal off the bench, and it was a Hudson-Odoi special as well. Always those shots that look like they're going to go wide, and then they just bend in at the last minute. 8 points for him, and Alanga got the assist off the bench as well. If you had Sells or even a Forest defender this week, you would have been buzzing. I had Sells. I was tempted to take him out, to be honest, and I was planning on it. But in the end, I decided to go a different route and thought, just suck it up that he's going to get battered this week and maybe make a few saves. But I was not expecting to see, 5 saves and a clean sheet from Sells. Yellow card, I think maybe that was for a bit of time wasting, but yeah, we'll take that. One last thing I was going to mention on Forest. Second best XG conceded so far this season. They have had easier fixtures so far than a lot of teams before Liverpool. But that was a trend. They had a really good XG conceded numbers from last season. It seems to have carried on this season. So may not be the end of the world to hold on to Sells potentially. Chelsea 1, Bournemouth 0. Sanchez in goal, 12 points, gave away a penalty, then saved the penalty, made 7 saves in that game. Clean sheet was the first of Chelsea's season, so 12 points for him. like if you give away a pen, you should maybe get deducted points. Giving away a pen and then getting the pen save points. That's crafty. Renato Veiga, 1.8 million, played in a double pivot with Caicedo. I did have a look at him. He's 1.8 million. Wondering if there was a bargain player to be had there. But it looks like Enzo was ill. And Lavia, the injury doesn't seem to be for that long. So probably not one to look at. Palmer, 4 points. Quiet game by his standards. 1 bonus and tackles. It looks like Bournemouth had a pretty good game, actually, from the stats and the highlights. It does worry me a little bit because I think it's Bournemouth-Liverpool next week. So if Bournemouth caused Liverpool a few problems as well, that would upset a lot of Dream Team managers. Sancho and Nkunku both came off the bench and combined for the goal. So Sanchez, 4 points, got an assist. He came on for Neto at half-time, who had a pretty poor half. I was having a look online and seeing what Chelsea fans were saying about Neto. And a lot of people were calling for him to be playing at right wing instead of left wing. Apparently not affecting the game off the left. Madueke off at the 61st minute, just 1 player performance mark off hitting 3 bonus, which is pretty good for the time on the pitch, but just don't like the depth Chelsea have got. Felix came on 61st minute, and then the Nkunku goal at the end got him 8 points. We'll have to wait and see what options might emerge for Europe. Maybe there's a chance for some Chelsea players to smash it in that cup match against Barrow, like we've seen in some whoopings in the Carabao Cup this week, but it's going to be hard to predict. They've got so many options. Bournemouth, plenty of chances, but without having extra fixtures now, I don't really think they're Dream Team options. Newcastle 2, Wolves 1. Anthony Gordon hit maximum bonus points, got 7 points in the game. 15 player performance marks. I think that's the most I've seen this season. I haven't been able to go back and check that, but yeah, haven't seen many players hitting 15 player performance marks. But once you hit 12, nothing extra gained. 5 dribbles, hit the top tier of passing percentage, and 5 fouls won. He has also been taking corners without Trippier starting. And yeah, Trippier didn't start again. Livramento started, played 64 minutes, then came off. Trippier came on for him. Gordon, at the time of writing this, had the most bonus points on Dream Team so far. Not sure if that's still the case. I'll quickly double check that. But yeah, not something we really saw that much last season. 10 bonus points for Gordon, which is tied with Eze. So yeah, still top for bonus. Bruno Gomares, 9 points, 3 bonus, assist. First attacking return of the season, but those bonus points continuing from last. Isak, just hasn't happened for him this season properly. Obviously, that first match against Southampton, we really thought he was going to smash it, but the red card sort of messed that opportunity up. This looked like another opportunity for Isak to deliver the points, but just the 1 point off at half time with blurred vision. The issue's not known at the moment, but I think it has to probably be a sell this week. Does have the double game week and game week 5 if you did want to hang on. You're running out of chances, though, I think. Harvey Barnes, 8 points. It was like we just had the Hudson-Odoi special. This was a Harvey Barnes special as well. Bending goal off the left. He came off the bench, though. I just don't know what it takes for Harvey Barnes to get a run of starts. Maybe it's a fitness thing. Jacob Murphy started the game, but Barnes came on. I think it was for Isak. Grabbed that goal, 8 points. This is on 2 goals, 1 assist for the season already. Fabian Schär back from suspension, got 10 points, long range strike from him. And then Lewis Hall, that a lot of people sold because he just doesn't seem that nailed at the minute, but he came back to starting, but just not worth risking again. And then Lamina, really the only one of note from Wolves, 11 points, grabbed the goal, but it's not really pickable. 6.4 average so far this season is good, but we've got to start looking towards these double game week players now. Fulham versus West Ham. Muniz started on the bench. I don't know if many people would have him at this point, but Jimenez back starting as striker and scored, so 11 points. Maybe Muniz loses his place as first choice now. Smith Rowe, 7 points assist. That's his second attack and return of the season. Adama Traore, 7 points, 3 bonus points, tackles. Old Dream Team legend for hitting those +7s and getting star man. Seems to be getting bonus now and starting regularly, but again, not going there. 5.2 average at 3.1 million, though. Pretty good. Robinson, carry on doing what he's been doing so far. 6 points. Tackle numbers, ridiculous. 6 tackles in this one. Bonus again, but lost a clean sheet in the 95th minute to a Danny Ings goal. Bowen, 7 points, got an assist. He's actually returned in 4 matches on the bounce now. Had back-to-back assists, and before that, back-to-back goals. Was the 4th highest striker on the game at the time of writing this. Dropped down slightly to 5th. Rashford's overtaken him. Kudus, 6 points, 9 player performance marks, and 3 bonus, which is pretty standard for Kudus. Just a shame we're probably not going to be picking him as much this season without European football. And then Paqueta didn't start, was on the bench but came on, maybe international break related, flying over from Brazil. Crystal Palace 2, Leicester 2. So Nketiah started, Kamada dropped to the bench, and it looked like a change of shape with Eddie Nketiah sort of playing on the right, Mateta through the middle, Eze off of the left. And Mateta seems to be back to his old self now, so banged a brace in this one. But the main thing of note was he took a late penalty, which we would have thought that Eze would have taken. Eze still got 7 points, 8 player performance marks, which got him 3 bonus and tackles. So decent performance from Eze anyway. But you would have been a bit gutted to lose pens. Glasner said, we say you two are the best deliverers, and then you decide on the pitch who feels better. So, yeah, I guess it's a decision between Eze and Mateta who takes pens at the time, but I ain't taking the ball off Mateta. The size of him compared to Eze. So that's going to be a tough decision. I think Eze probably is going to lose pens, maybe until Mateta misses one. You know what strikers are like. They're greedy, aren't they? So that wasn't good for Eze owners, but made up for it in this next Carabao match. Mitchell, 8 points, bonus and an assist. Lacroix, the new signing at the back, looked a bit shaky. And Ndidi for Leicester got 2 assists in this one, 11 points. Playing more advanced, bit like a number 10. Bit different to what we used to seeing from him. He's had good returns so far, 1 goal, 3 assists this season, but not someone that I'd be picking. Mavadidi, 2nd goal of the season, 9 points. But still no clean sheet for Palace, and they didn't keep one in the Carabao Cup either. And then a 0-0 from Brighton, something we're not that used to seeing, I don't think. Pedro was left out of the squad, which would have been an annoying one for people. Had a really good start to the season so far. Was on international duty with Brazil, but I think he only played 45 minutes. Come back, didn't hear any sort of injury news about him, but then was missing from the squad. They're playing this evening. Hertzler said something like, we'll wait and see if he's okay for the cup, but he wasn't involved in the cup in the last round anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if he missed out in the cup. Rutter took his place. Kadioglu and Estepinian still on the bench. Maybe they come back in soon or get the cup match. Veltman got 10 player performance marks, getting him 3 bonus, which was the most bonus points for defenders so far with 7. But again, probably not someone I'm going to be choosing. 3 clean sheets though for Brighton so far, so a lot more defensively sound than under De Zerbi, it feels a bit like. Muric, 1.7 million, keeper from Ipswich, 11 points, 6 saves. Not a terrible fixture run for Ipswich, but newly promoted side, quite a weaker side than the rest. So cheaper option in goal if you're looking for maybe saves or looking for a cheap keeper, but I don't think I'll be going there either. Right, now on to the Champions League and Carabao Cup matches that we've had so far. So Diaz and Robertson both dropped to the bench for Liverpool, which would have annoyed a lot of people. including me. We knew that it was a chance with Diaz, with them having Gakpo. But I did think after just playing sort of 60 minutes in midweek, there could be a chance that he played 60 and 60. So Tsimikas and Gakpo came in for Diaz and Robertson, and both got attacking returns. So Gakpo, 9 points, got an assist, bonus points, 2 shots on target, big chance created. Diaz came on 68th minute, but just managed 2 tackle points. So overall, disappointing week from Diaz if you brought him in. Szoboszlai started both this week, got 11 points in this one. I didn't feel like it had a very memorable game, but 3 shots on target and a goal that come off his knee, but they all count. So yeah, if you bought Szoboszlai in this week, decent return, 11 points. Salah started, got 93 minutes, but no goal. So that's 2 games this week without a goal for Salah. But he hit the crossbar twice, I think it was. So very unlucky. And if you did go for Salah over Haaland for your captaincy that this week, yeah, you're pretty unlucky there. Chiesa came on for like 2 minutes or something off the bench. So he might be the guy that does come on to replace Salah on the rare occasion. Gravenberch, so I mentioned him, got 6 points in the previous game, 5 points again here, and I think he's like 3.1 million. So as a sort of an enabler that's possibly going to be playing Champions League and Premier League on a regular basis, that's pretty good. 11 points for the game week, averaging 4.4, but 9 bonus, 22 points so far. I think some of the Villa guys around the same price are looking good too. Trent still dodging bonus points in this one, so still on only just the 1 bonus point for the season, which I thought that he'd be really doing well on the bonus system so far. But he got his first attack and return of the season for a corner. No, not a corner. It was like a free kick around that sort of position that Konate got on the end of. So 7 points for Trent. And then to complete the full house of attacker returns across the defence, Virgil van Dijk scored a header from a corner taken by Tsimikas. So 9 points there for Virgil van Dijk. Tsimikas 7 points, Trent 7, Konate 9. So seeing Tsimikas take those right-sided corners and getting on the score sheet, I think would rub salt in the wounds for Robertson owners. But no clean sheet again. So 2 matches, no clean sheets this week for Liverpool. Then Villa versus Young Boys. So 3-0 win for Villa. Really impressive win. Young Boys were terrible. I think that's probably what we expected. But yeah, I thought maybe away from home, they might have made it a bit tougher. So unchanged side from the Everton match, which saw Watkins starting again, Bogard getting another start, but an early sub. Tielemans, we're going to start with him. So 15 points, goal, assist. He looked incredible. I'm gutted that I didn't choose him because, I brought in Louise this week, who's been pants. And the 2 that I was debating on from the previous episode was, do you go Onana or do you go Tielemans? Because they looked good for this double. Either would have done the job. 15 points for Tielemans. Again, hitting bonus. Scored that goal. I think the assist wasn't amazing, but 20 points for the game week. Averaged 7.6 points per game so far this season. And if he ends up on penalties as well, he's going to turn out to be such a good pick, Tielemans. A little bit of a issue for next week is that if you do bring in these Villa players, they've got a Carabao Cup match against Wickham, I think it is. So there probably is quite a lot of rotation in that one. So it probably is just a single for a lot of the players. And then the week after, when they do double again, there's a nice match against Ipswich. But then they've got Bayern, who I think they scored like 9 goals yesterday. So not ideal, but long term, I think Villa have got some really good budget picks. Watkins started this one, got an assist, 6 points. Got the assist getting taken out by the keeper, and then Ramsey got on the end of it, put the goal in. So if Ramsey hadn't have scored that, maybe we would have found out who the penalty taker was eventually going to be for Aston Villa. But Ramsey got the goal. Watkins got the fantasy assist. Then Watkins had his own, well, not an own goal, but he scored himself and it was ruled out. It bounced up and hit his hand, which wasn't the first time that happened this game. So the goal was disallowed. Then he went off in the 60th minute and then was pictured sort of icing his ankle, which didn't look good, but I do wonder whether this is just that recurring injury that we've seen. He's been going off early in matches, missed the international break. Emery said that he's fine, but yeah, it's a little bit of a slight worry if you were thinking about going Watkins this week. Ramsey, 12 points, goal, 3 shots on target, bonus. He's another one that looks really good, but I still think I'd prefer Tielemans. And then Duran came on for Watkins and just almost carried on what he's been doing all season. Subbing on, scoring straight away. Ridiculous goal, like such good bend on the shot. Curled it straight in, celebrating in front of the away fans. In front of the home fans. Got booked for it. And then the goal was disallowed because in the build-up, quite a long way before it, the ball had hit Onana's hand. So 2 goals ruled out for sort of handball. You would have been gutted if you went Duran this week. And then Onana. This was, the gutting one. Someone that I'd considered for bringing in this week because it freed up so much money. I didn't think, though, I was looking at bringing him in just for the price point and the price rise. Seems like he's going to get tackle points, might get bonus, but he's not going to score every week, is he, Onana? He's only scored 3 goals all season last season, so he's not going to carry on scoring. But no, 3 goals in 5 for, that's not my name, mate, Amadou Onana. So, 10 points for him. Rodgers, he's a strange one. So he looks so good. In my team, he just cannot find the goal at the minute. Such a good performance, or like to watch on the eye test, but then you just look at the dream team points and they're just not there. 4 points ain't bad. Bonus point, shot on target, but it feels like he's due so much more, but it just not quite happening. Onana's the goal machine, not Rodgers. Martinez as well, very popular goalkeeper pick this week. Got a clean sheet, 5 saves, and nice little bit of shithousery as well, winding up some of the young boys players. But overall, really strong week from Villa, looking really good. Man United 7, Barnsley 0. I'm not even sure. Do all the goals fit on the screen here? From ffstuff.co.uk's match centre. Rashford, Anthony, Garnacho with 2. Rashford again, Eriksen. Yeah, all 7 goals do fit on the screen. Back-to-back clean sheets for United this week. Like I said, only Dalot played in both of them in terms of defence. Rashford played as the striker. Garnacho played out on the left. Anthony on the right. Rashford, 21 points, 2 goals, 1 assist, following up from his goal at the weekend. So nice little confidence boost there. 3 goals, 1 assist for the season. £3.8 million striker if you felt brave, but I don't think I'm ready to get him back in. We'll be getting a 0.3 rise though. I was surprised he didn't take the penalty as being the striker, but Anthony won it. Anthony took it. He scored 15 points, 3 bonus, but I don't think we'll be targeting Anthony yet. Garnacho is a frustrating one because, someone that I said last week I'd be interested in bringing in if his price dropped a little bit this week, which it did. But he's not going under the radar now, is he? 24 points in this match, 2 goals, 2 assists. Obviously scored at the weekend as well, putting him on 3 goals, 3 assists for the season, which is so impressive when you consider I think this might have been his 2nd start. Garnacho looking really good in front of goal. His and Rashford's finishes actually both really good. Bruno Fernandes, this one I couldn't believe what I was seeing, to be fair. Bruno Fernandes subbed on at 5-0 against Barnsley. He's insult to injury, isn't it, really? But yeah, poor Barnsley. Grabbed 2 assists though for Ericsson to get a brace. So yeah, you'd be buzzing with that if you had Bruno Fernandes. 8 points there. I just couldn't get my head around that. Just think it's like the equivalent of if Arsenal playing Bolton and a 5-0 up, bringing Saka on. Could you imagine if Bruno would end up getting injured in this game, which makes no sense to me to be bringing him on at that point in the game. But yeah, unless there was really no one else that could have come on. But I think looking at the bench, there was. But anyway, got the points. 21 points for Ericsson, 2 goals, 1 assist. So started both games this week, but it seems strange to say someone with 21 points not going to be on the radar, but not someone I'd be picking. Then last, Crystal Palace versus QPR. So second game of the week for Crystal Palace. Another strong cup side again for them. Quick Eze free kick to slide through Eddie Nketiah for his first goal of the season. So Nketiah goal, 9 points. Eze with the assist. Munoz at the back had a really nice chance put across the box. It's pretty much an empty net for him to put into, but he sort of sliced it. So unlucky there. 7 tackles though. Second highest tackles in the game with 24. Henderson, really nice save from a point blank header, but then conceded soon after from a corner. So you'd have been annoyed if you had Henderson. He was looking like a good pick to get the double, and then got a yellow card as well just to rub it in. Kamada didn't start the Premier League game, but started this one. He grabbed an assist. I think he's got a habit of getting returns in the Carabao Cup, a bit like Eze. 6 points for him. But in terms of assists, like Kamada got the ball at the edge of his own box, gave it to Eze, who was just outside the centre circle in his own half. And then Eze ran the whole length of the pitch and scored from outside the box. So well done, Kamada, for that assist, mate. Class. Eze, though, just brilliant. 17 points in this one. 13 player performance marks. Got him maximum bonus. 1 goal, 1 assist. Now he's going to give us headaches because if you're like me, I was looking at Eze as being one of the guys that doesn't have a double next week, so could potentially be moved on. But he's going to get a 0.3 rise again. And then you're sort of weighing up, like, if you've got Eze, who's going to get 90 minutes every match, getting a rise, you're then weighing him up against someone like Diaz, who I've just brought in. But if you get Diaz in a double game week and he's going to get 60 minutes subbed off, 30 minutes as a sub, it's still 90 minutes. Eze is going to get 90 minutes. Who's better in a one-off game, Diaz or Eze? Yeah, makes you wonder. That's all the games so far. So, like I said, still Champions League from City and Arsenal to come this week. I will be doing my top players to target in a separate video, but maybe a slightly more condensed video now that we've highlighted a bit of all this. This would have been a lot to fit in to one episode. Massive thank you to ffstuff.co.uk for their match center in this video. So their match center is available at ffstuff.co.uk. You can see it the same as this, and they've got loads of new cool things. Obviously, the player data is really easy to access on there, but they now have price change predictions, team price change tracker, where a lot of people ask me how to access this. You have to go on Search Manager. You put your team name or your own name in the Search Manager. You will then be able to see what your team ID is, and then you can have a look at the team change, price change predictor. So do check out ffstuff.co.uk. Loads of great stuff on there, and it's all free to use. So massive shout out to ffstuff.co.uk again. And then if you're looking for more Dream Team content, the Dream Team Tonic podcast, I couldn't make it this week as I was at my brother's wedding. But listened back and it was a really, really good episode, really helpful. So do check out the Dream Team Tonic podcast. There'll be a link in the description below. See you on the next episode, probably out tomorrow or early on Friday. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.